Well, of course this video is for Adelia. Welcome to the Berlin 2020-2021 video essay. So this is just different snippets of experiences I had during my time in Berlin, my 6 months. What was fascinating to me may not be fascinating to you, but it's a bit of a trip down memory lane, which is always fun to do, and it's just a bit of a capture point in time. There's a beauty to the city, and in these I've mainly captured my local experience, which I tend to do in most places because I'm living there. I'm trying to actually be more like a local versus being a tourist. So it's a little more the everyday experience rather than a special occasion. Let's see everything we can see because we're not going to be there for long. You know, the difference of that. It's great though. I love it. I'm happy to share it, and if it's time you're happy that you've experienced, great. If it's time you wish you got back, I'm sorry you spent it watching my video. Enjoy. So if you're familiar with my photo essay, this isn't new for you to experience. This is basically the snow over the Spree River, my favourite view for the whole time I was there. It's what you'd be seeing outside the window and what I watched. Because I'm someone who didn't grow up with snow or grow up with winters that look anything like this, we'd have rain, but snow would never come to the front door or anything. This was just such a magical yet kind of bleak, frightening experience for someone who, I'm just looking at it going, is it safe to go out there? Because I know it is, but I'm freaked out. This next one was when you walked out the hotel and you turned right. This is right beside the Spree River when the snow had started to clear and it had got warmer. This would be closer to the end of February. It's quite a nice walk around to the next little bridge, and obviously there's a restaurant on either side, but quite beautiful. Still really chilly. This was one night in coming out of the station right nearby, and it was like flooding, and I was like, I don't want to die. Pretty much, I don't want to die. Yeah. And this is what I looked like sometimes when I left the house to survive. So, live from Berlin, or should I say live from Michelle's window in Berlin. This is the beautiful look of after snow in Berlin. So Michelle walked along that path you can see beside the trees and up to the supermarket, which is where you can see the buildings kind of to the left of the screen, the kind of creamy coloured buildings. There's a supermarket there, and then walked around the Spree, which looks a bit like that. And as you can see, Germans get out and about. The interesting thing is I took one of actually walking in the snow, just the feet, so I'm going to send you that. My favourite street from the window, the cars moving either side at the end or right near the corner of where I'd live a minute or so from, the other side, closer to Museum Island. But there was quite a few high-rises around actually. I don't know what the apartments were like obviously inside, but they looked a bit still snowy and bleak outside. But again, the colours were just so vibrant at that point. So if you can't see it, because it's not close up, the Spree River is icing up. So let me give you another look at the ice in the Spree River, because today's temperature is 10 degrees, but it will feel, sorry, I digress, minus 10 degrees, but it will feel like minus 18. Lovely Berlin. Apparently we're having the coldest winter they've had in, oh, I don't know, forever. And February is always the coldest month. And of course Michelle is here. The Spree has icebergs. It's actually quite beautiful at the twilight of twilight. So at this point in time, it had been a while since I'd been back to Australia. In fact, I haven't been back in about a decade now. And this was an Australian shop that for some reason was literally a street away from where I was staying. So you're seeing quite a few Australian products, a lot of alcohol. I don't drink, but there was Cadbury chocolate, there was Shapes, they're like a little biscuit, savoury biscuit, Vegemite's well known by the rest of the world. There's a lot of the sweets, Anzac biscuits, obviously the flag on products. So the light is really afternoony, but as requested Adelia, a video of my street with the Amazon building in it across the road. So according to my neighbour, this is one of the oldest shopping centres in Berlin, and it was restored, the building, and then Amazon bought it or moved in. Not sure which one, but that's where they are. End of the street, there's a big main road, and there's things the other direction. But basically, I'm almost at my door, and there's the building right across the road. It's quite beautiful, actually. We are effectively in what would have been East Berlin. So this is the kind of garagey outdoor area of where I live, and literally where you can see the red further down, there's the doorway. So this is basically a view of the internal courtyard. My apartment was on the first floor right up the other end. But that's where I saw the trees from. This was when they weren't, a little more winter, but it was a bit of an open courtyard. I'm guessing in summer it was probably quite vibrant, full of more life, but at this point it was pretty dead. The lounge room that obviously needs some work. We go towards the door, and I can show you the view from the balcony. Door opens out. It's kind of freezing, but here it is. So I can't really see what I'm filming. So that's what it all looks like. And in summer, I'm guessing rose gardens and trees. So welcome to the creepy underground, which could be the site of any major horror film. I just came in the door behind me. Now I'm going to turn the light on, which has this impact of lighting everything up. So where I'm going is to, because they're on every side, which is kind of freakish, I'm going to here, where again I can turn a light on. It's very dark at night. Sharing is caring. It's like a lost footage film. And the doorway I came in. Okay. Welcome to the hallway, where I'm sure we'll end up in a horror film. Let me turn the lights off and see the experience. It is totally creepy. Okay, let's just open the door and get out of here. Voila. So that's kind of what this doorway looks like. So, funny story, I decided to move out a piece of carpet that they had in the apartment that just couldn't be cleaned. And it was a long enough piece of carpet that it was probably a bit taller than the average person. So let's say it rolled up into what looked like a length of maybe a 5 to 6 foot person. And I decide that because it's so dirty, I'll put on my green raincoat and I'll put on my green washing up gloves because I don't want to get any of the fluff and crap coming off it on me. And then I decide to drag it down the hallway and drag it down into the basement to put it in the only place it could go because it wasn't mine. And I just look like I'm dragging a dead body down at 9:30 p.m. at night. I wish I'd filmed it. It pretty much looked like a horror movie. Yay. Yay me. Sharing is caring. What a beautiful thing when the door opens. Super easy. This is like Christmas. But March instead. So just to get this in perspective, this looks like snow. It's definitely ice snow by the looks of it. I went outside. It's freezing. And it is the 7th of May, 2021 in Germany. May. That would be mid to late spring. And it's doing this. I look outside and I'm thinking, what's happening to the rain? It's not rain anymore. It's ice and snow. So even though that last video had in the 7th of May, which I probably should have thought about, March, April, May, should have been, getting a bit too warm on its way into summer, and it wasn't. That wasn't the reason I left. Berlin itself and life there and choices I was making for myself, it wasn't the right place to be. Because I'd made some decisions regarding work, it made sense to move on. So I didn't really experience the full opening up. I did see there was some time at the lake and I did go to Potsdam with some friends, but there wasn't a stack of experiences. I have been in Berlin in the height of summer and the weather wasn't the determining factor, even though I was in a little bit of shock because by that stage I thought it would have totally switched over, but it hadn't. It was an unusual year, but it was also an interesting experience, and knowing that maybe, just maybe, for this Australian finding herself on the other side of the world and moving around Europe, it may be that she isn't designed for winter temperatures. She isn't designed for direct sunlight. So she's part vampire, and I don't know what that makes me if I'm not designed for winter temperatures. I can get back to you on that one. But point being, I wasn't really designed for the experience. So Berlin departure was 31st of May 2021.